Hey traders, welcome back to another one of my videos. Today we are going to be talking about correlation. This is a topic that's been heavily requested on my channel, and I'm super excited to talk about it. So what is correlation, and are there some ways that we can actually trade this concept or look for kind of divergences that could lead to some really good trading opportunities? This is something that I personally love to look into myself in my own trading, so I'm going to share it with you guys. So let's go ahead and get into it right now. Hey traders, my name is Nick. If you don't already know me, on this channel I talk all about trading and investing, and I like to keep it real. I like to talk about the down-to-earth approach to trading, and this concept right here is a really cool one. This is basically the concept of correlation. Now you may have heard this from maybe your math classes growing up or in classes that you are currently taking, but correlation, and forgive me if my definition is not perfect, I never did really well in math anyways, but correlation basically is the way that something moves compared to another. That's a terrible way of saying it, but generally speaking, if one thing rises, does the other one rise? Does it fall? Or does it do nothing kind of similar? This is basically the concept of correlation illustrated, but essentially it's looking to see if there are patterns between two different asset classes or two different occurrences, just generally in statistics, charts, numbers, whatever, right? For example, let's think of a simple concept. Generally speaking, let's say that we have two companies, and in fact, this might be a good example to start out with. So let's say we take a look at KO. This is Coca-Cola. Many of you guys are familiar with Coca-Cola. They make some awesome drinks. I personally drink too many of them. So Coca-Cola is a company, and this is their chart, right? This is their stock, and you can see that the price is going up and down and doing all sorts of other things. Well, TradingView has this cool little tool to actually compare Coca-Cola to something else. And so let's compare it to its biggest competitor. We can do PEP. This is going to give us PepsiCo. And so this is another soft drink company that is a competitor to Coca-Cola. And what you will notice here is that the prices here, or the stocks of these two companies, we've got Pepsi here, right? PEP, right? And then we have Coca-Cola here in the normal candles. Okay, so when we take a look at Coca-Cola and Pepsi, what you'll notice is that generally speaking, these two charts move very similarly. So when this price is going up, you can actually see that Coca-Cola is also going up. When this price is trailing down, Pepsi is actually trailing down as well, and so on and so forth. And for the most part, these two companies are what you would call very correlated. And what that means is that generally speaking, when Coca-Cola does well, Pepsi also does well. When Coca-Cola does poor, so does Pepsi. Not always, but according to this chart, very often. Let me give you one more indicator. We'll go on and explain a little bit more of these concepts as we go along in the video. And this can be applied to currencies and just markets in general. So stay tuned with me for those of you guys who are Forex traders. So when we're looking at this, there's also another indicator that I want to show you guys. If I can find it. So if we actually go to correlation coefficient, and this is a built-in one, I'm just going to favorite it. Click on correlation coefficient, and let's say that we are looking at Coca-Cola, and then we want to actually compare it to a different chart. How about the one that we talked about, PepsiCo? And now we click apply. And now what you'll see is there is a cool little chart here at the bottom of the screen. And what this is basically your correlation coefficient calculation. Now, again, stay tuned for those of you guys who are Forex traders. We'll take a look at a Forex example shortly. Now, what you'll notice here is that there is kind of a bar on the right side. And if we kind of stretch this out, we might be able to see a little bit more of this. So here's our two prices, right? We've got Coca-Cola and Pepsi, and now we've got this big fat indicator here at the bottom. What you will notice is that this chart goes from 1 to, it actually goes all the way down to 0. Okay. Now, what you'll notice is that a lot of times, as we mentioned, these are generally following the same direction as one another. Okay. That's going to give us a high reading. Okay. A 1 basically means that these two things are highly correlated, meaning that when one goes up, the other is likely also going up or close to it. When one is going down, the other is also going down, right? So this is purely just saying that these two charts move in sync for the most part. Now, what you'll notice is that occasionally there's these dips where we actually see the correlation breaking down. And this is where things are not as correlated. This is where you'll see one chart going up while the other chart is actually going down. Let's see if we can find an example here on the chart. How about right here? So what we'll notice here is that you'll actually notice that we've got these two charts at this particular point. One is actually kind of not going down as much as the other, which is going down sharply. And so that is where you get things like this, where you get readings where one chart is going up and one chart is not going up. And these things were correlated, right? Because generally speaking, when things are correlated, they are both moving the same direction. Well, every once in a while we get these interesting readings here where things are not as correlated. We'll see if we can find a better example. So what you'll notice is, look at this. So if we zoom in just enough here, you'll notice that. So we have the orange line here, which is Pepsi, going up. And you'll notice that the candlesticks are what? They're going down. So this is an example right here of when a correlation is broken down, okay? And so we're gonna talk about some ways to trade this concept, so stay tuned. But generally speaking, this is when the two diverge. And this indicator here, this correlation coefficient, is kind of cool because it gives us a reading, or we can see when things are breaking down and things are not acting as they usually do, okay? And so if we go back to the current, basically what this indicator down here is going to tell us is whether or not something is highly correlated, which is a reading of 1. If it's 0, it means that they are not necessarily correlated, or in the inverse correlation, which is the -1, which is the last part. So the last one is, again, if something is -1, that means that they are actually negative or inversely correlated. Okay, and so what this would mean is that when one is going up, the other is usually going down. Let me give you an example of that so that we can hopefully visualize that. If we take a look at, let's make our first chart, SPX 500. This is the S&P 500, okay? So now we've got the S&P 500 pulled up, but let's actually cross it with something else instead of Pepsi. Let's actually compare it with UVXY. This is actually a representation of the VIX, which is a volatility index. What you will notice actually is that if we also change this to UVXY, we can see, look at this. Now we've got a correlation that looks kind of the opposite of what it was before. We see an opposite where things are very close to -1 here on the VIX versus the S&P 500. So meaning that usually what's happening here is that when the S&P 500 is coming down, the VIX is actually going up. And when we have something like the S&P 500 going up, the VIX is usually going down, as we see very clearly actually in this example, right? Going up here, going down here. And that results in a close to -1 correlation, okay? So for those of you guys who are Forex traders, how do we use this and why does this matter and how can we actually make trades on this? I'll give you guys an example in the Forex market so that for those of you traders who only care about Forex, we can get into that. So let's actually take a look at AUD USD. Now this is gonna be an interesting one. So what you'll notice is that we can actually, let's change this here to the S&P 500, SPX 500, okay? And so what we're gonna have is we've got, if that would change, let's do SPX 500. There we go. Okay, so what you'll notice here is that we've got the Australian dollar and we've got the S&P 500 or the stock market as a correlation coefficient here down at the bottom. So if we actually do one more thing, let's do the compare again and let's draw in the S&P 500. And there we go. Now we've got our full picture here when we're talking about correlation. Now stay tuned again, I'm gonna talk about some ways to trade it in just a moment, or at least some ways that I like to trade it. So now what you can see is that the S&P 500 and the Australian dollar, especially recently since February, have actually been very closely correlated. In fact, you can see that the reading here, if we were to use a horizontal line, let's see if we can get this going. Looks right about there. We actually have just about a 0.87 or an 87% correlation coefficient, which is a pretty dang good correlation, especially when you're talking currencies and crossing it with the stock market. A lot of times people don't know this and they say, oh, you know, you should trade Forex or you should just trade stocks. But there's actually a lot of crossover between different markets around the world, especially when we talk about correlation. We can actually really see this visually within the data. So when we're talking about Australian dollar, what you will notice here is, again, we've got a strong correlation of almost 1 between these two assets. So when we see the S&P 500 coming down, which is our line here in orange, right? SPY, we'll put SPY, and then we've got the AUD USD, so AU. What you'll notice is that when these two are coming down, they're coming down together, and vice versa when they are going up, you can see them actually both moving back to the upside. Okay, so now we've got some good examples. Now we probably, or hopefully at least, understand what correlation is. By the way, if you have any questions further, comment them down below. Let me know if you trade with correlation or if this has been interesting to you, and we'll talk more about it. But again, so how do we actually trade this concept? So every once in a while, the interesting components to me here are actually not necessarily these moments here. Right? Now, these are interesting, don't get me wrong, because when something is strongly correlated, let's say that a lot of you guys who are Forex traders who trade something like SPX 500, you know that this is an incredibly volatile pair. Well, if you don't want to trade that because it's too volatile and even 0.01 lots is too much of a position size for you, you can actually trade something potentially like AUD USD because it has a very strong correlation to the S&P 500. So you could still kind of trade it with a 0.01 lot size. And if you have any experience in Forex, you will know that a 0.01 lot size on AUD USD is a very different ballpark game than 0.01 on SPX 500. Okay, that can be a very, very messy pair, very, very volatile to kind of trade that. So when we're looking here at our correlation of almost 1, that gives us that kind of approach. So we could trade, that's like the first way that you could potentially trade using correlation is you just want to trade another asset with a lower volatility index such as AUD USD as opposed to S&P 500. So that's the first way. But the second way might be my personal favorite. Every once in a while, we get these interesting scenarios where the two charts diverge, as we mentioned earlier on, okay? And this is where things get pretty interesting, because we can actually find some examples of times where we can actually be looking for trades back in the direction of a correlation returning to normal, if that makes sense. So for example, when we see these situations where price is basically, diverging from one another, we'll zoom in here a little bit so hopefully we can see. What you'll notice here is, for example, we see this, okay? So we have a chart that's decently correlated, right around here, so maybe 0.7, 0.8 correlate. So a lot of times they are moving in the same direction. And then every once in a while you get something like this, again, where they diverge, where you've got the S&P 500 moving up, right? And you've got the Australian dollar actually moving down. Well, this scenario can actually be very, very interesting and can create some trading opportunities that can be pretty cool. If you see something like this, sometimes you can actually take some cool trades expecting that the convergence or the correlation will actually resume. So it'll pick back up. And again, you're making a bet that something like this will actually return back to its normal thing where it's usually correlating. Now, this is not a 100% foolproof plan, as nothing is when it comes to trading, but a lot of times we actually see correlations come back full swing and there's money to be made. How do we do it? Well, when something is doing this and something is doing this and we have a correlation, usually historically, a lot of times there's a decent bet that you could take shorts on something like this, and optional, you could long something like this. And the idea here would be that you're looking for these two pairs to actually start to correlate once again, meaning they diverge or they come back and converge back to normal. And that is the trade concept. So looking for these unique scenarios where we see something that is highly correlated and can actually trade back to its confluence points, that's where things can get interesting. And so there are some trade setups. So this is not necessarily a perfect timing indicator because things can remain uncorrelated for some amount of time. But when we have these unique scenarios, sometimes we can start to look for other technical setups to try and trade back the direction that the other one is kind of trending, so we can get them to converge again. So again, if you're making a bet that this will resume, a lot of times you can look for trend line breakouts, you can look for concepts to try and trade one back in the direction. Let's say, for example, in this case, you didn't want to take both of those trades, but you decided to take a short on the S&P 500 because the Australian dollar, you believe that it has further room to sell off, and you say, okay, well, I'd like to sell the S&P 500 because I think that one is likely to fall down to kind of resume play with the Australian dollar or to follow it. Because again, these two things a lot of times usually follow each other. So when you have something like this, this is just a drawing example. So let's say that we're looking at a chart, right? And we've got asset A moving up, and we have a bullish bias, right? So we have a bullish bias here on asset A, and it is heavily correlated with something like asset B, which let's say trades sideways or maybe even a little down. Well, if we know that usually these two are actually very correlated, if we have a bullish bias overall, we could be looking to actually buy asset B in favor of seeing it rally to try and resume its usual correlation to asset A. I know that's a little bit tricky, and this concept is a bit more advanced than something that a beginner trader would do, but this is just purely understanding the concepts of correlation and understanding that a lot of times asset classes move in correlation. Now, there's a lot of different correlations out there. There's actually probably thousands and thousands of correlations between different assets, charts, currencies, stocks, futures, cryptocurrencies, all sorts of stuff. So I would encourage you to go check them out for yourself, go do your own research. A couple ones that I mentioned Coca-Cola and Pepsi as kind of an example. There's also things like the euro and the pound, right? A lot of times they can be very correlated, and we can actually see that side note. We can actually see that if we go take a look at euro GBP. You'll notice that a lot of times it kind of chops back and forth, and a lot of times because it's currencies with somewhat similar economies, okay? Of course, not entirely, and sometimes we get trends, but a lot of times they just chop back and forth because they share a lot of similar things. So that's kind of sometimes the why behind the correlation. That's always a fun thing to research and do analysis in. So I would encourage that if you're interested in correlation, go check it out. Go read more things on the internet about correlation. It's a little bit trickier than usual, but there's a lot of different interesting correlational studies that you can check out on the internet. So thanks so much, guys, for watching, and we'll see you back in the next one.